Live from Germany, welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are gearing up for more racing action. It's the penultimate round of the Precision Automobile Club Esports Toyota GR86 series, this time swinging out from Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. My name is Ramble, alongside Howard Burrows. We bring you all of a racing action from start to finish here of round 5 of 6, and Howie, this championship continues to pick up in intensity. The big news coming into today, Victor Klo being promoted from the AM category up to Pro-Ams, and that has caused quite a few shakeups up and down in both classes for the championships. So all of this, of course, are gearing up to duke it out here this afternoon as we are planning for quite the run here this afternoon. And Howie, again, with Victor Klo making that drive up into the Pro-Am category, he is very much within a shout to take the win. And you predicted he'd be fighting around 3rd place in the Pro-Am category coming out of Watkins Glen last week. How about right on the money, sitting in 3rd and within striking distance of the Pro-Am points lead?
Starting to get a little bit lonely in that red AM class, to be honest. I mean, it's a very competitive chase up there at the top, and Vic always was one of the better drivers. It almost felt like he was breaking up a class. Now he's really got a battle on his hands, and we've been told it's not wrapped up anywhere.
Now, that said, it is looking much more, I guess, predictable in terms of championship predictions. Julian Agneson's right now standing atop alone by almost 40 points ahead of Abdulrahman Aloda. Now, even with that run, because these guys are scored in overall points and there is up to 85 points on grab today, this championship for both classes will be going down to the final race in just 2 weeks' time. So this fight is going to be looking to go right down to the wire. And hey, personally, here on this one, Howie, that is just the way I like my championships, is right down to the final race.
Going to be a bit of a swingy one as well, because there is a drop week and it will start applying on the next week. So you really want to maximize the results you can, but it's okay if you had one day that didn't quite go right. We're very much out of the high-speed circuits this season. Watkins Glen was our last draft try, and I described just before the show this track sometimes a bit like a street circuit about the walls. Very tight turns. I love it around here, though. I love lapping, but are people going to get desperate for positions? That's going to be a difficult question.
Oh, yes, sir, indeed. Right now, the weather looking to be 23 degrees centigrade, 14 kilometers an hour winds blowing off to the west, and a pretty humid morning here at Oschersleben in Germany, which is going to make for an interesting start to this racing. Quite a bit of crosswinds for these little Toyotas to be dealing with.
We're on the side of the world where you don't need to think about snow, and that's crazy because it's Germany, and I've lived there, and it has snowed plenty in the past. So, you know, no Armageddon here today. Some nice weather, and maybe no fog on like the Daytona as well. I think they're out on the track. Drivers are going to be able to push very hard in some of that.
Yeah, the one big advantage of this one is we don't need to worry about the 6 or 7 hour long safety car periods when it comes to fog. We can just push right on through, and well, time to see who's going to be starting where for racing action here this afternoon for the Pro-Am category. Coming into the run here of the sprint race for 10 laps, it's Soren Gerrits or KGL Racing. He is alongside Peter Goossens down in that number 88. Row 2 on the field then this afternoon, it's Gilles Philipparts alongside Victor Klo. And then, of course, back for 5th and 6th, it's Nick DeBeckius alongside Joel Verstraeten. And then you got yourself Alessandro Penny alongside Kim Bayat, and Ashley M. Toft brings up the tail end of this one here for the Pro-Am category. And then, Howie, the AM category is right behind them.
The AM category does have some interesting things because Robert Savage got 2nd fastest time, splits up the field a lot with Julian Agneson's with the 2nd fastest. Doesn't really match what I got, but I will go with what I see on this screen. Kenny Liebert lined up in 3rd next to Abdulrahman Aloda. Further down the road, we've got Chris Inderberger and Ronnie Michels. I think there's just 1 or 2 more. Yeah, Christophe Bossart lines up at the back. I mean, to me, it looks like Victor Klo is going to be starting the race. Oh, Victor Klo starting the race in 5th because I haven't updated my classes on my end.
That
Broadcast
will do it.
looks great, but I'm looking at a red-coloured Victor Klo on my side and thinking he's an AM driver, right? No, his promotion means he's going to be right in with it.
Robert Savage could very well become our second driver to promote himself into the Pro-Am category here on this one, because that 118, he was fastest in practice and second overall in the M category, right? So, I mean, this is a driver that we could be looking at to pull off a Declote-style run this afternoon.
Let's just get another promotion for the finale while we're at it. Maybe the AM class is actually a competition to get out of the AM class. The racing's been good in there, but it does feel as if there's a new driver to punch above their weight every time. That said, the sprint often goes very different to the feature. Still, got our last driver gridded now, so we're ready to go.
And with all that said and done, field is gearing up for racing action this afternoon as the revs build. And 10 laps of sprint racing action is underway at the Motorsport Arena, Oschersleben. Firing down towards turn number 1, Soren Gerrits with a good, solid getaway right off the hitch. They are 3 wide for second place, though, on the run down towards turn number 1. We are not going through the infamous 90-degree left-hander this time around. We're using that normal layout, and so they are clean through turn numbers 1 and 2.
Still a tricky turn to go 2 to 3 wide in. Some of the long turns around here, they very suddenly snap on you. These cars are going to have a lot of grip to take them, and maybe they'll be able to ride those weird little bumps on the inside. That's a good pass up the inside right in the middle of the field. Lots of chasing right now, a little bit more than I expected.
A lot of drivers on the move at the moment. Robert Savage dropping 2 spots, though, off the hitch. He has fallen back to 4th place overall now as a result. While they are single file all the way on through. Lap 1 of 10 for the sprint, and then it is going to be a 20-lap main event coming up just after this as the field dives their way through yet another infamous part of the racetrack, right? That is some call it an awkward chicane. Personally, I'm a big fan of that chicane. I love how it flicks back to left, right, and then back, or right, left, and back to the right. I think it flows quite well into each other.
Kind of like a straight line disguised as a chicane. You're just trying to not hit that little bollard just to get a slow down penalty, which you'd have to serve off the line. That bigger chicane, I mean, I almost saw Peter Goossens make a move up the inside, and he chose not to. It's quite hard to get a pass into there. It's quite hard to pass around a lot of this track, really, but you do have to be very, very brave. You can do it with enough of a run. Wonder if we'll get any sort of slipstream, but I mean, Robert Savage is sort of bumping Peter Goossens now. He's up to the left-hand side of him.
Up to the left-hand side for Robert Savage as he tries to make that look into turn numbers 1 and 2. No dice on it this time through, and it is Soren Gerrits who will lead the way overall at the end of lap number 1 this afternoon. Several battles even deeper in the pack. You got right now Max Devicini, Ashley M. Toft, and Kim Bayard strapped for the last spots on the grid in Pro-Am.
Still a very, very, very close pack here. I wonder if it will stay this close or whether it will sort of split out in time. It is quite a technical track. You can extract a lot of pace in these situations, unlike sort of a pack race. But saw a lot of separation in the pack race in the past, and I think this is a track a lot of people know very well. It's one of those free tracks that shows up every single season in iRacing, and I always try to get a race done here, no matter what. Robert Savage still just trying to peek around. Goossens not getting anything done any time around, but everyone's just sort of in their line, except for Soren Gerrits, who is, you know, so far away, he's not even showing up on that cam.
And further down the field, 4th place in the Pro-Am category is Victor Declote, promoted into the Pro-Am category after taking a walk-off win at Watkins Glen International 2 weeks ago. That is, of course, the rules. You beat everybody else overall. You got no reason to be hanging around to the AM category. It's time for you to move up and race with the big boys. So Victor Declote now, his first official race now in the Pro-Am category, and that, of course, does mean that all of his championship points have been transferred out of the M category and into Pro-Am, which I personally am a big fan of that here, Howard, because that means he at least doesn't have to start from square one.
I think at a championship this short, you start from square one and you're almost just down and out of it. I love though that the points are so good that he's just competitive entering the next class, and all of a sudden opens up a battle. It also sort of prevents runaways in the AM category, because he was running away and now there's a bit more of a game to play there. So all the way around, this championship remains quite unpredictable to the end. A lot of single file now. Much of this race is going to be looking for mistakes and looking for chances. Maybe a few desperate sends later, but you don't want to do anything stupid because it's very hard to get those big passes.
So far, no moves have been made and no overtakes for position either since lap number 1. This race looking to be a fairly processional one here at this point in time. And of course, you mentioned earlier on, Oschersleben, a much more technical racetrack than what we saw at Watkins Glen. And it's going to be a similar story when we swing out to Circuit Zolder in a couple weeks' time to close out the championship over in Belgium. So I think a lot of drivers right now are trying to just poke holes and try to see if anybody can find a look through with some brakes momentum. We actually saw Verstappen trying to look down the inside of the cloak that time by, but wasn't able to get there.
I mean, Zolder's going to be interesting in terms of how much you can send those cars over the chicanes, because they've got big bumps. Some cars hate taking them. These cars, you know, they will just ride that thing like no tomorrow as long as you don't eat a slowdown penalty. So it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't count that being an interesting finale. I mean, we've had I love seeing a season with this much variety. I'll put it like that. Sometimes you get stuck in your way setting up a league, but we've had a little bit of everything here. But it is a tough end to the season. You don't really get any free pack races.
Max Nevincini swings out wide. He's going to lose some spots to Kenny Liebert and almost lost one to Ashley Toft as well. Also, Robert Savage in the M category just put down the fastest overall lap of the race as well. So Savage showing he's got some more pace underneath, and Nevincini trying to size up a move on Liebert for 12th place overall. And you know, for those that are new to the championship, the reason why this is significant for the fight for the overall position is because they are not scored based on class. They are scored based on their overall finisher position. Look out, in the round goes Nevincini, turned by Ashley Toft, and they both spin around at the back of the field.
There was kind of no world, I think, Ashley could have made that move go up the inside. He's hardly on the track. He's grazing the yellow blocks on the inside. There just isn't a car's room there on the inside to make that pass. Unfortunately, that's going to be a send to the back, and it's reminiscent of a few incidents I've seen over the season. They're going to be sent to the back, and only the top 8 get reversed for the feature. So if you get sent to the back here, it's pretty tough. I'm interested in Soren Gerrits because I say the same almost every single week about him. He's unbelievably fast. He often can get caught up in something when he's in a big field, but he can run away when he runs away. Right now, he's looking pretty good for it. That'll put him 8th from the feature. That's going to be some chaos. We're halfway through this sprint.
Take a look back. This is on board with Ashley Toft, and the look that she had. Tried to look for the inside, and Nevincini, the gap was just never there, though. Ashley had no business sticking the nose in the number 8 car down the inside there, and that causes our first spin of the night.
It may be more, though, because that's the sort of energy even if the pass wasn't really on, that's the sort of energy you sometimes just have to bring to pass attempts around here. I mean, like, because otherwise almost nothing else gets done. And at one point, someone's going to try and do it. You sort of know it from short track stock car racing, you know, sort of stick yourself enough on the inside that you sort of move the other car out of the way. Rules might not like that, but I think it might be the sort of thing drivers end up doing anyway, given time. The gap's closed up to Soren Gerrits up front. They're pretty close now. No real move quite planned yet, but that gap has just been pulled down and down and down. He seems to have lost pace over the last few laps. I think he might have had a slowdown. Actually, he's just not got a best lap recorded on my screen, so I'm just a little bit confused as to why he doesn't even have a best. Who knows? Maybe it's weird timing, or maybe he has eaten a lot of off tracks.
It's a very real possibility, right? Oschersleben is one of those tracks where it can be relatively easy to pick up off-track 1Xs. He's got to remember, right, that AstroTurf on the left-hand side, you so much as look at that gravel, it's going to be going the wrong way. Here goes Peter Goose, is being blocked off on the left-hand side of the track by Gilles Philipparts. Philipparts trying to hold Goosens honestly, and he's going to cut back to the right, trying to get the momentum into turn 1, and that's going to pay off. An aggressive but a hard-fought defense is going to allow Gilles Philipparts to maintain the number 2 spot.
Now, turns one, the sort of tricky ones. A lot of the turns have this sort of sidewinder nature to him on the track, really, where you send it up the inside into turn 1, and all of a sudden you've got nothing on turn 2. You know, the whole thing just comes away from you. So you almost have to make a weird outside send into turn 1 to then, like, really get it into turn 2. I thought that was going to end in disaster of some kind. Both drivers in one piece. Robert Savage still in touch. Going to enjoy every point he can claim at this rate.
Halfway home through the sprint race this afternoon, as this pack continues to show its mettle here without much time left. Only about 4 1/3 laps to go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all packed up under a blanket. Robert Savage trying to go for the 3rd place overall. Wants to try and improve his championship standing entering the final race. But he's forced to back out, and he remains tucked in line for 3rd.
We're just seeing that unless you get a tremendous run or force a tremendous mistake, it can be hard. I say this as we look right at a side-by-side that could work out. It's Victor Cloak on the inside, and it's a pushing Yelp for Stratton out. Still stays in with it. How much more momentum is there going to be now going down this straight? They look just about even on pace. I usually would count it on Vic on that sort of right-hand side. Don't want to make contact going in, no. He's going to be outbraked.
And Verstappen gonna fight this one through as a result. Clears for the 4th place position, but Eyes Van Zandt has caught Victor Claude offline. And I thought for a moment Victor Claude was gonna come under fire from Van Zandt as well. And looking like Victor Claude may have finally met his match in the Pro-Am category here. And Verstappen was showing no mercy there. He swung around the outside, taking full advantage of Victor Claude getting offline in a couple quarters prior.
Sort of back to waiting for a chance now, I think, for a short while. But you could see the intensity just sort of raise throughout the race. People were pretty calm on that 3. Now they're just really starting to send it on others. Another attempt at a side-by-side, almost forcing the other car out just in time for the chicane. But just about both got it clear about hitting in the Ballon of Doom.
Eyes Van Zandt continues to try and apply pressure, still wants to try to have a look. Now the inside of Verstappen in the closing laps of this one. It'll be 3 to go at the line, and right now Van Zandt is all over the back of the 67 entry. And Verstappen is having an increasingly hard time keeping Van Zandt at bay.
Do you think there's going to be another bold one before the end of it? It's 1 place now. Being 7th here actually gets you front row in the next race. I do wonder, like, do you want to really jeopardize anything to close this one out? I mean, I was talking about a little bit about that battle out front. Soren Garrett still holding that one clear. Extended out by a bit. It might close up again, but not seeing too much out of those drivers. Still on board, though, as we run through the earlier sectors on this track. You know, this turn has a tiny bit of banking. It can actually help in some GT cars. It's about the only banking you'll see on this otherwise flat as a pancake little airfield. You see a little grass on the outside, very easy. That could be where the 1X's come from.
Quite a few contenders having some runs here. Chris Hindenburg looking like he may have just had a problem here, as the driver of the 183 was indeed off the road. Take a look. This is what happens to Hindenburg. This sends him back to 6th place in the M category. This is into turn 1. Whoa, that's a bit hot. Out wide and misses 1. That caused him to miss 2 as a result as well. Luckily, didn't lose any positions. Oh, he lost 1.
It's a braking zone that catches up to you because you just sort of don't see the corner until suddenly it's right there. That, when I was new to iRacing, that corner caught me out about 50 times because the braking zone does just feel like a jump scare. Like, it just comes up out of nowhere and all of a sudden you get caught. And even if you run this track a lot of times, you're very good at it, can get you every once in a while. There's a lot of corners like that where you think you're going to be high speed and you really need to be slowed up a whole lot more.
Up front, Soren Garrett's continuing to hold on to the lead of the race, and now looking for the inside as Jones Philippart sees an open door and he's going to send it. Bodies Garrett's out to the left-hand side, and we have our first lead change of the night. Philippart's to the point with 2 to go.
And Goossens wants some as well. That outside line not going to quite be how it's gotten done because it'll be inside into the next turn Soren's going to have. But actually, there's more pace on that car on the outside. This corner is one with almost 3 apexes. The asset should carry a bit more momentum. Peter's not able to get momentum there, but then it switches back and clears right on Soren Garrett's. Robert Savage is going to try going for this too.
And that long side-by-side fight could spell an end to the fight for the race lead here in the 10-lap sprint, unless they can find a way to run down 0.7 of a second over the next lap and a half. That could very well be it, but Philippart ambushing Soren Garrett, who clearly never saw it coming.
And now look at Philippart's pace. I mean, he's 7 tenths off, and he's driving like someone who was faster the whole race and waiting for his chance the whole time. He could just be right off into the distance and claim those points. Soren Garrett sort of wants to hold on to what he has. Bricks quite late into that last turn. Just about makes it through. Look at the gap behind, by the way. Significant. Like, we're all the way on the other side of the track. We've got stuff going on.
That's Ronnie Michel's trying to fight it out with Chris Hindenburg back of the field. While further up front, Nick DeBeck down the inside of Gelver Stratton here. This is coming down into turn 1. Makes the run around the outside, and DeBeck clears from Verstraeten that time through as well. Up front, that gap's come down. It's to a quarter of a second, and Goosen is ready to fight.
It's every little elbow out. I don't really know how the gaps just suddenly grow and shrink so much around here, but I guess with so many tight braking zones, it just sort of takes one mistake for everything to change. Only a few major turns left to do it in. Goosen's had momentum the last time he made the move. Oh, it's a late break. Tries it around the outside. That one's not quite going to be it. You feel like, though, he is braking right on time to try and squeeze past.
Just half a lap to go. Peter Goosen's still closing, and now he's got the slipstream down one of the longer straights on this course. Coming down into the last few corners this time by does Peter Goosen having up for a lunge. Here comes Soren Garrett, and the former pole sitter trying to fight back from third. That's going to put him under 5, and Robert Savage tries to go around the outside with the number 2 spot, and that little look is going to do Goosen's in. Gilles Philippart comes out of the final corner, and Philippart wins the sprint race at the Motorsport Arena Oschersleben, and Robert Savage comes home for 4th right behind.
I mean, it's why I love tracks like this where your passes aren't terribly frequent, but there's a lot of tension running all the way up into the end. That was some tight, tough racing. Even a few more dueling it out. Are we going to have a slipstream chase to the line? Oh, there's almost pace there, but it's not going to be made out at the end. So everyone's racing someone there.
And shockingly, one of the closest fields that we've had yet when it comes to the entire field in this one as well. I tell you what, that fight was a stellar battle that we had throughout the course of this one. And of course, 5 minutes now before the end, before we get back into main event action here this afternoon. These are the top 10 here, and Howie, it tells a story.
Very close pack. I'm on that top 4, and a very close pack further behind. Robert Savage performing fantastically to get that P4. Worth noting the starting grid for the next race, of course, we reversed the top 8. So we're going to see quite a flip of some of these drivers. Soren Garrett's, the likes, are going to have to fight their way up the pack. And I think it's going to be pretty terrifying.
Overall, a wild ride that we had here this afternoon, and there's still plenty of action yet to come up in the Precision Automobile Club Esports round number 5 for the Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. We're going to take a step back when we return. It's more racing action on Green Flag TV. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where we are minutes away from kicking off the 20-lap main event this afternoon. And, well, Howie, we come off of quite the journey in the sprint, a race that was far more processional than I think we're used to seeing from this championship, but yet it provided some of the closest race that we've seen all season long as well.
I'm surprised, but I do love a track like this. I find it does keep people quite close together, and it does encourage them into their worst impulses, and that might be a headache for stewards, but it's entertaining for us to watch along, and it does lead to tension all the way to the end.
Well, overall, this race still has a long way to go here this afternoon, and at this point, I mean, we've seen Victor Coyle come from being a commanding driver in the M category. He remains the big story in this one. Do you reckon he's got it in him to contend for the Pro-Am Championship by season's end?
Well, that was an interesting race we just saw, because to me, it sort of flipped a lot of the expectations I have for some of these drivers on their head. We had some unexpected results, and we might get another round of that with a big grid reversal. So really, I'm keeping a keen eye out and not expecting anything at this point.
Overall, just 30 seconds to go here before racing actually kicks off once again. 18 contenders entered the ring on this one, and what a journey that we had here to kick off the racing action here tonight. It is time to see who's going to be starting where in that main event, just seconds away down the road, as we'll get a look at the overall grid as the 5-minute warm-up session going to draw to a close here this afternoon. So then, starting on pole position, and we'll find out in just a few seconds once iRacing decides to stop meandering around and actually change over the session for us to the 20-lap main event. Boy, it just keeps adding on 10 seconds after 10 seconds after 10 seconds, doesn't it? It really wants to keep us suspended in anticipation here. Here we go, coming to it this time wise. Elver Stratton coming home number 1 this afternoon. He's going to be starting on pole position after starting 8th place in the sprint. From there, Nick DeVec starts alongside him on the front row of the grid. Isaac San comes home 3rd alongside Victor Coyle back in 4th. From there, row 3 holding Robert Savage and Soren Garrett, with row 4 bringing up the likes of Pierre Gusens and Gilles Philippart. Top 10 closed down by Julian Magnesens and Abdulrahman Aloda down to 10th.
Very telling that there's only one AM driver in the top 8, by the way. Alessandro Penny is in 11th, next to Kenny Liebert in 12th. Then we have Kim Bayet next to Ronnie Michels. Chris Inderberger lines up against Max Nevinchany. And Ashley Tuft and Christoph Bossarts are going to round off the back.
18 contenders. We had all 18 grid up. We've got all 18 gridded up this time by as well, and we are ready to rumble once again to the Circuit Motorsports Oschersleben as the revs going to start to build here this time by. We're happy as always that you join us for more racing action here on Sunday afternoon as it's go, go, go from the main event here in Germany. 3-1 already on the run down in towards turn number 1. It's going to be a tight ride for Heinz Van Sant down to the inside. He's not going to be able to go for it. Van Sant to the lead. DeVec drops back to 3rd. And already a little bit of calamity at the tail end. They're able to hold it together just barely for Stratton. Quentin takes over the lead. And we've had 3 different leaders in just 2 corners.
How often do you see launches like that? P1 kept a little sleeping. These cars don't do standing starts very often. One more move, that's Victor Clote in the inside of Nick DeBet. And Robert Savage keeps his P5 sort of behind this big pack of cars. There's a little bit more side by side, but drivers should even out heading into these next few turns. Not too much space to move, but with moves like that, I think we are going to see a little bit of it all race long.
Quite an aggressive launch right off the hitch there for a few drivers. That was absolutely stellar in this one as the pack will now cut their way through the chicane and headed down the back chute now. All 18, you see them all tucked up into one line, all in one camera shot as they fight their way into the next braking zone right underneath the Sig Solaris Group spectator bridge. And then back out the other side towards pit entry.
You know, a lot of drivers just sort of check up on each other throughout this section. 1 or 2 almost sort of running into the back, having to check up. Stylo Constantina in the line, and it is a very big line. Only really one gap in it. It's running at Michelle's is sort of the first driver that actually has any separation from this pack. The rest are all just running in one big line.
Coming into turn number 1, out wide for Victor Claude, just ahead of Deback. He's able to hold on to that third place spot. He brings that car back underneath him. And we'll fight our way into turn number 3. And just like we saw in the opening laps of the sprint, one car gets loose behind, but no drivers going for a position. That was Philip Hartz getting crossed up on the curb.
You've got 20 laps now. You've got half an hour to focus on to get this done. I mean, you can make your moves, just like Robert Savage is trying to do up the inside of Nick de Beck. Where have I seen that before in this race? Robert Savage making some bold moves. He's very fast to be up there. But in general, I don't think you want to do the crazy stuff, because if you fall off this pack, there's almost nothing getting you back up there.
The last time we were Oschersleben here on Green Flag TV, it was with the Beer League when they were running Legends 34 Coupes, and they had quite a calamity-filled race. Heck, in the opening lap of their main event, they had about a 12-car pileup that saw 2 cars go tumbling out of turn number 3 as well. A little bit more orderly here this afternoon. We can really start to see what Oschersleben can really offer. But I tell you what, you get a bunch of guys that know how to run this place. They will put on a show for you, just like we're seeing this afternoon.
I mean, you sort of had it with Beer League right there. Truly one of the most entertaining leagues in the world, but an 18-car pile-up sounds a little bit like how they should go every single week. Good to see cars doing it cleanly, though. A few different lines taken through that first turn. I guess it's because the way you enter that first turn determines how you're even allowed to take the second one. I think everyone really takes a deliberate line. Sometimes they can be forced a bit wide if they miss that braking zone. Quite a lot of the corners on the track are like this, really.
Coming around, whoa, heads up, one car up into the grass, and that is Philip Hartz again. I tell you what, this, number 29 car just is not having a good run here this afternoon. The DDK Racing Team contender, I think, is psyching himself out a little bit through turn 3.
It's quite easy to outbrake yourself and fall into a bit of a rut around here. And once you have a mistake, if you're not used to the track, they can compound on each other. So it's unfortunate. He probably wants to be anywhere but here right now, but he is absolutely trying his hardest out there like a soldier anyway. I do respect it. Look at how long this line is still. Sort of a mini gap in the middle, but still almost every single car on the track can be seen in that shot.
Alessandro Penny trying to close the gap to Abdulrahman Aloda to see if he can get a buffer zone between himself and Kim Bayat right behind. Actually, Tovtu, we saw spin one driver out earlier today. Also mired at the tail end of this midfield fight with while struggling to trying to find a way to the front and right on board with Penny as he tries to close the gap on Aloda up front. And speaking of up front, we've got Victor Clote now starting the pressure. Eyes Van Sant for second.
Doran Garrett's fastest lap, dare I say inevitable. Look out for that car and see what it does. It very often puts down fastest laps. It's stuck quite a bit in the middle of the field. Gilles Philipparts, by the way, as you might have just spotted, having another bad turn and going very wide, actually. Dropping all the way down.
Yeah, quite a bad run there for Gilles Philipparts on this one. Lost a lot of positions, and we'll take a look on what caused this to happen here. Looking like, yeah, cut across turn 1. That'll do it. Out wide, and that's all she wrote.
Struggling, but you get points for showing up, and you get points for finishing. So, you know, you just run every lap you can and hope for the absolute best, because stuff can still happen around you. You can claim positions. A few more drivers missing their marks all around the track, really. But up front, we're still pretty line astern. The Alfa Verstappen pulling a gap away, but last time I talked about a big gap from P1. That disappeared, so I'm not going to count on the same odds anymore. Things can easily change throughout this race.
Alessandro Penny under fire from Kim Bea right behind. Bea looks like he wants to try to have a run at him here. Gets right to the back bumper of the Pegasus Sim Racing machine and heads up. Bea's into the gravel trap, and that's going to allow for Bea to get that run. coming down the front straightaways, looking to the inside, and the 86 car trying to make that run happen. Ashley Tough, you already see him trying to tuck in line and follow through to the inside out one. But it looks like Penny will be able to at least keep one of these cars at bay.
Looking tough, and there's gravel on the outside of that turn now after the last instant. Ashley Tough sort of engaging in a bit of contact with Jules Philippart side by side. Oh, it's amazing. Both of those end up in one piece going out there, but Philippart's almost spins actually going into the back of Penny. That's going to give Ashley Tough the place, and going to try to make a hard charge after the errors of the first one. Race, just try and get every position you can.
It only takes one driver to have a bad turn, right? And then you'll find yourself side by side with contenders throughout the next half a lap. The way the racing tends to work here is you now see the 29 car. Jules Philippart trying to look for the inside, but Tough covers the line, entering the chicane, so no dice for Philippart's behind.
And your moves can't be too crazy around there. You don't get them very often. Don't get your chances very often, which probably can encourage your worst impulses. That is Penny.
Yeah, just smokes the wall on the left-hand side. And it's going to bring that car likely to a stop in the infield. A brutal impact there for Penny. Take another look, and I think he got hit from behind.
It was quite a big hit from behind, let me tell you that. I saw it from the chopper, and it was a real missed braking marker, leading to a dead GR86 in the wall.
On board with Penny. He's trying to get a run going on Tough just in front, and evidently Philippart's didn't get the memo, and boom, right into the concrete. And that immediately sheared the left front off of that race car. And Penny's now trying to get back to pit road.
Even with the fast repair, it's going to send you down and out of the pits. Oh, we're into the pits we come. It's the brutal pit entry and pit exit around there. If you've not gotten like 5 black flags on entry and exit on this track, you kind of like haven't placed it properly. To be totally honest, that's Soren Gerrits. What else do I say about Soren Gerrits? Gets caught up in incidents, and it's another one that's moved into the same turn. We saw it last time around. This one was a little bit more on the cards, but still bold, and I don't really think it's a turn you send it up too hard up.
Robert Savage, the M-Class leader, the one responsible for this. Well, for that angle, it kind of looks like the 6-4 turns in on him. He had half the car alongside.
From the top, it also kind of looks like it could resemble that, to be totally honest. I think that is one where there's a little bit of both, but it does just seem like every move up there ends in a new form of disaster. So, I mean, what are we learning today?
I mean, you can't argue that the car wasn't alongside, right? I mean, he was fully there right at the door, so he was entitled to that line, if you ask me.
At this point now, I'm just considering there's a car alongside me there just running for the hills. Just get out of the way and make sure nothing happens.
Abdurrahman Aloda
seen enough.
Fighting into the 8th place overall spot. That's 3rd place in the M category.
Very, very tight race here for the AMs. Usually they're split up, and now it's 1, 2, and 3 for AM-class cars. Robert Savage losing some places, and now they're just right up next to each other in class, not interfering with anything else. You don't often see it around here in the middle of the pack. Robert had a very, very good start to the race, but it has just been a drop down and a drop down over time. The long run hasn't been helping. You can overcook your tyres in a few of these turns. You don't really wear them, but the heat is significant. And some of these braking turns, I almost fear the contact up ahead.
Yeah, just about, but they are able to more or less hold it together as the field is gearing up to go at it once again. Ashley Tough pushing out to the left-hand side as Philippart's had a bit of a run. And there you see actually Kim Bayat dropping back. I think Bayat's got to slow down.
To serve them far off the line in this. I mean, there's not too much other space to serve it. That wasn't right off the racing line. We're shoulder checking each other. We're shoulder checking each other right now. It's the 33 and Max Nevencherney. Don't know which car that was contacted. I think it was Abdulman Aloda, who moves quite far across into the line. and sends an Avanjani way back. He owns a lot of time through that grass and loses multiple places.
Yeah, that felt a little bit uncalled for, if you ask me. I don't know if he just didn't know that Nevin Chaney was there, but geez.
Bitter rivalry, it turns out, has eclipsed us now. Who knows what's going on this grid, quite frankly. It does seem to now be a bit of Lord of the Flies around here.
Like I said, it only takes one car to make the move, and all hell's going to break loose, and we're getting that this afternoon. Philip Arts makes the move on Kim Bayet and is able to secure the 8th place position overall. All of this, by the way, while these front runners have just been cruising off into the sunset without a care in the world.
I think they're going to have many cares in the second half of this race. I think they're playing relaxed right now because there's 13 to go. They got a relatively long one by the series standards, 20 minutes of driving. But I do anticipate give this race another 10 minutes and they might be at each other's throats. Does make sense to be patient right now, though. You're giving up a lot of points on the table by doing silly things right now.
Quite a run that we saw drivers have here this afternoon. Let's get a look back if we can. I want to get a jump back at that absolutely amazing launch that saw quite a few contenders here have quite the journey down that front straightaway. Take a look at this one here. This is going to be from the initial start of the race. Maybe not. All right, we'll go look at that in a moment. We got Victor Clote right now. Just made the pass on Eyes Van Sant for second.
That producer's curse right there.
Yeah,
you do try and catch something really cool and you just lose it. I mean...
Or you jump back like a whole session, apparently, to the wrong lap.
Looking at the move, it's a good move. If you can catch that replay, that's a good move going into a turn. Let me tell you that. It's one of the first into that turn that's really worked out. I know I'm sending you now searching around on multiple jobs, so, you know, you can thank me later, but this is a big outbreak into turn one. These usually haven't gone very well, and it's on the outside line.
You see Eyes Van Sant on the outside, and Clote just clears him, only just barely, from the inside of one. That was a lunge and a half, and again, credit to him, he made it work. This is now going to be the look for the race start here from Eyes Van Sant. I mean, talk about a launch from third on the grid and shot for the middle of 3 wide almost immediately.
Forcing a way between those two cars, that's one of the bravest things I've ever quite seen someone try, to be totally honest. It almost looked like he was going to crash right into the car on the left and take him out, but he didn't. He got away with it. Some space did need to be given for that, but it was probably the smart idea to pull out of line.
All of that, and he still ends up back in third place now, right where he started off the race tonight. But he is still very much up at the front. Here we got Peter Goossens trying to look for the inside of Nick DeBeck, but he's not going to go for it. Backs out at the 11th hour. They're entering turn one.
I told you it would be a little bit of time until people started going. I wasn't anticipating it would be right about now, to be totally honest. It really is. Looking bold, just like that. That's Peter Goossens. Was it? I think it was Goossens that just sent another car around on the inside of that turn, and that one might need a chopper cam. Oh, into the 24. And that's Nick DeBeck down and back.
Tough break for DeBeck on that deal. Get a look from above. You're going to see it's an aggressive cut to the inside, and just gap was going to close. Always is going to close there.
We're getting physical now. This is what we call short track racing in North America. You would know, I don't, but I somehow got it from cultural osmosis anyway. This is how they do it in Martinsville. I mean, like, we really are just starting to move people out of the way out of our impatience.
You're not wrong. Another look for battle here. Soren Garrett's now on a scrap with Kim Bayet, and Bayet forces Garrett's out onto the left-hand side, and then it's going to head him off of the pass. All of this action in the first half of this race, by the way. We have just now hit the halfway mark, 10 to go.
Got quite a bit of pack splitting now. I mean, you would after that many incidents, but it does mean that we have a lot of concentrated duels. Yeah, Verstappen's been enjoying this, 7 tenths out. Was 9 tenths early, has lost a little bit of time, but he's generally fast, and Victor Cloak, who's having to hold off. He's Van Sand just behind, so it's going to be an advantage played there. Here's Soren Gerrits making the send, getting it done. Looks like you can get it done, but it's always drivers doing it on the other side.
You almost need to be at least halfway alongside the car in order to even have a remote shot on making it work. Because if you can't get clear by the time you need to slam that first apex at turn 2, you're not going to get the move done, because it's just such a long sweeping corner of 2 that they can just hang that one back around the inside and take the spot back. So you need to really go for a lunge if you want to be successful in a turn 1 attack.
We just look at some of these duels just still running out on the track. Looking at the 33 right now, threatening Victor Cloak. Yeah, Verstappen probably. Actually, I saw a 33 on the side of the car. Now I'm just seeing other cars around it. So maybe my eyes aren't working today. I mean, I'm not particularly sure. Yeah, we are quite a bit further back on the back actually. It's because there's threes everywhere. I saw a 23. This is Kim Bate and Max Nevincheddar. Yes, you have to show me to make sure I can work out how this works. It's going to be hard to get a pass around the outside of that from Max. That's always one of the hardest turns to pass into. It really, really is. Gravel getting kicked up on exit, as is typical, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty run in the middle at this point to see if some gravel go flying, and I'm sure we're going to be pulling a lot more of that onto the racetrack, making our track marshals' lives difficult before the end of racing action tonight. Nevincheddar with a run. He's going to try to go the long way around turn 1. He is alongside. Can he swing that one through, or will Kim Bate be able to dive it into 1 and cut him off at the pass? It's tight, but they're still side by side. That should be an easy move for Nevincheddar at that point in time.
It just took a little bit of poking at it to get it done. I don't think that duel's over, by the way. I think they're going to try that again. I've just noticed on the timing tower, by the way, Victor Cloak's right up on the Alpha Stratton. So again, I talked about a leader gap and it just disappeared. That could develop. Oh, we're going to have to work out where we are looking today on the track, because now we have a potential duel for the lead, and from major passes on this track, they just seem to flare up out of nowhere as big dive bombs.
Nick Tabak has just made the move on Ashley Toth for the number 8 spot, and that looked like a move that kind of came out of left field. Kenny Lieber loose out to Chris Inderberg. And there's still no move being made for the race lead. This is Tabak down the inside of Toth for 8th. As in fact, actually it looked like took too much curb and actually got a slowdown.
You can just take a big bump here. I don't know if there's a penalty there, but like you can take a huge bump off that giant sausage curb and then you're just done. You know, you just sort of have to give it up and let the other cars fly by you. That just might have been the source of that. These cars, their suspension was stiffened up a little with the iRacing update, but they're still pretty soft. It is one of their defining factors around here. It's very close, this battle now for first below. We have 5 cars that have all just squeezed in together to make this happen.
Yeah, 5 cars separated by just 1.06 seconds right now. There's the look to the inside. Victor Cloak trying to go for the big send for the number 1 spot down in the turn number 3. Looking to go back to back in the main event. And Cloak now trying to fight it out with Jelver Stratton up the road, side by side in the 4. And just able to keep alongside, and they're still going to keep duking it out.
Binky, I don't know if you have this on exit. I thought he was going to, but this outside line, it's really slow. There's still pace. Oh. How are you going to go side by side into this chicane? You rarely can. That's how it goes single foul. Even Sand is pretty fast further back. Even Robert Savage is looking his way back in, trying to chase down Peter Goossens. Oh, it's all happening here today.
Boy, that was a slugfest, and I thought for a moment there that Verstappen was going to be turned off the nose of him. Right behind them, Robert Savage trying to improve his overall position. It didn't work, and he's going to drop back as a result. Victor Cloak back on offense here, and you can tell that Cloak is getting desperate. He wants that lead.
Chasing it, we're chasing it, we're going to get it done on this exit, but there could be a little bit of slipstream shenanigans to head into the next lap, and we're just doing another sprint race all over again. Vic moves to the inside early, tries to squeeze Jelver Stratton to the minimum space possible. That's going to get him a very good line. I'm surprised no one else quite goes for a big one around there, although all that gap on the inside just closed off at the last second to keep Vic away, and now Is Van Sant has the run.
Oh, this is a fantastic fight that we have at the moment. Round the outside for Is Van Sant, trying to get the run on Joe Verstraeten, and that is going to cause Van Sant now to come under fire from Peter Goossens behind, and Goossens got the nose. You're not clear, and Goose is going to hold that one through the inside of 4, through 5, coming up through 6, and now beating doors up over the sausage curves. Was that enough for a slowdown? Doesn't look like it.
Slowdowns are hard to get around here, really. It's just hitting one of the orange blocks on the inside of that chicane right there. It's one of the only major slowdowns you can get around here. There's a lot more off tracks than slowdowns you can catch. The line still in, like, you can actually see on the other side of the track, cars still running. That's how big the separation has become around here, but could actually be any one of these 5. Depends on how bold and ridiculous they want to be.
Six laps to go this time by as Victor Clote continues to lead the way. This fight here is by far the closest and largest battle pack that we have throughout the entire racetrack at the moment, so it's all eyes up front. I guess they're feeling neglected here after not getting so much attention by all their calm running in the opening half of this one, Howie.
It's going to flare up again, I think.
Oh,
I think
no!
it's going to... Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I said. Oh, dear. Another one spun to the side, and we've split this pack right into 2. Was that a commentator's curse or what?
Yeah, no kidding. So Van Sant drops back to a 5th place overall, 4th in the Pro-Am category. That almost dropped him into the draft clutches of Julian Agnesens, who's been trying to run this pack down.
We've sort of split this into 2, but yeah, we have sort of introduced a new driver into proceedings, and right now I don't know if that's quite going to happen. He's going to need some incredible laps back to back. We still have a chase for P1, and these 2 have raced really, really well throughout the race. Keep an eye on Robert Savage, though. Could get himself an overall race podium now with a good move. Too many places to put your eyes on this track right now.
Boy, that would be a power move, by the way, for Victor Clote, right? He comes off of a very draft-heavy track where he took his first ever win and was promoted to the Pro-Am category. So then come out to a very technical track like this proves that while, yes, it was at a draft-heavy racetrack, that win at the Glen was not a fluke, and Victor Clote is looking to make a statement here entering the season finale at Zolder.
I want to see the storyline of Am to champion. Want to see it. Could totally happen with pace like this. Robert Savage side by side going into turn 1. Yeah, he does do a lot about braking, but he doesn't even really need to this time. He's just sort of waved through and given it.
And too far out.
That isn't that slowdown. Is that slowdown for Goossens? He did have to give up another place on the outside.
I don't think it was. I think he just went too hot in the turn 2 because you see him hammer down now trying to run down Van Sant up the road. It's easy to do, right? I mean, he was offline already entering turn 1, was trying to get a run going on Savage in front. So I think that was more just overshooting, and that lets Van Sant pick up a Pro-Am podium.
And Robert Savage could get an overall podium if he maintains this speed just for a little bit longer now. Only a few laps to go. He's been in the right place at the right time. He's been fast on the track when it matters. It'll be a very, very impressive outcome, to say the least. Not quite the win, but, you know, that championship's been opened up by losing its points leader. So let's give someone else a chance to really come in and strike and take it for his own.
Goossens looking to the inside of Van Sant. He wants 3rd back in the Pro-Am category. Not going to be able to hold it around the outside. Could he look to go over the over-under? I think that's what he's trying to aim for here into the final couple of corners. But he's headed off at the pass.
Seeing it get more and more terrifying. In fact, I think this will be another shot to go at it. Will it be bump drafting, or will it be a shot to just send it up the inside one more time? Get the tandem drafting around here. Goossens has to pick his car the way at one point. Does it a little bit too late. Actually loses momentum. You're not going to make up 2 seconds, I think, in this many laps by tandem drafting. I think you just need to sort of fight for your position. Maybe that wasn't the right place and the right time. Keep an eye on them, though. I mean, at the same time, keep an eye on P1. And is that a car that should not look like that?
Chris Hindenburg has had a pretty big moment for the KGL Sim Racing contender. Look at that right front. That right front suspension has completely collapsed.
This is the sort of stuff I would drive and be like, still works. Still works. It's just a self-spin, by the way, just taking a little bit too much gravel on the exit of a turn and self-spinning and hitting the wall. Unfortunate that the wall happens to be right there, actually, because it's a track where the walls are not there very often. And that's an unfortunate way to end the race like this.
Jumping back. This is the look of what happened. He's going to take the toe to pit road probably as a result. Yeah, too much curb, and hello.
I mean, that's so frustrating. It feels like that line's worked for you every single lap, and then suddenly your car's in the wall. That's racing. But like, I've been in moments like that, and it just drives you crazy, because you think, what? I know I obviously overstepped it by an inch, but like, that much, and you're just going to end it all? It drives me crazy. I'm just getting mad looking at it.
The answer is yes. It do be like that sometimes, you know, as Ashley Toft down the inside of Soren Garrett's fighting for 9th overall, 7th in class. And they're going to be double file down the front straightaway.
There's so much gravel kicked up on some of these final turns, by the way. It's just been thrown up everywhere due to drivers making mistakes. This race quickly running out of time, and Robert Savage has managed to sneak his way onto the back of this lead pack, by the way. He just wants more. He wants his pro license, you know? We're going to finish the season all blue if he's going to make enough moves. Only got a couple laps to do it, but he has been fast. I've not seen him make too many passes. Maybe he just doesn't want to end his race.
I was going to say, I mean, we're about to get our second Pro-Am promotion here in a row as we're Stratton and DeClote continuing to battle without 1, 2, and 3, separated by only half a second up at the front end of the field. And boy, this race has flown by us here, because boy, I just looked up and I was a bit shocked to see we've only got 3 laps to go.
Time flies at Oschersleben. Probably has been feeling like it's been asking a long time for the drivers. Robert Savage thought he was going to make a move into those turns, but those are not easy turns to make a move into. Let me put it like that. Only going to be 2 more around the next time they cross the line, and I don't think it will end in this 1, 2, and 3, if I'm to be totally honest. Further back, Goossens is doing a battle of his own. It's all happening everywhere on this track all at once. There's going to be a duel for the win. There's going to be a duel for 4th. It's going to be a little bit of everything to round us off. We're side by side.
This is Van Sant and Goossens, 3rd place in Pro-Am. And once again, they're ready to go to war as the pack thunders into turn number 1. They are all going to get clear.
There's been a crash. There's been a crash up at the front. The top 2 have collided with each other, and Vic has taken the worst of it.
Oh, Verstappen able to get his way around the outside, but Robert Savage trying to contend for the overall race lead. He really does want to go and get his Pro-Am license. All of that action with 2 laps to go. Right as we jumped away, this is what happened.
So we had the little move up the inside again, but this is for the lead. Robert Savage just in the perfect sort of position to claim a place as Victor Clote sent back. This battle is raging on. That's going to be immensely frustrating, and we're going to hit the white flag soon. And what would Robert do for another promotion? What is he going to try?
You see Victor Clote getting a little bit frustrated behind, because remember, Victor Clote is fighting for a Pro-Am championship now. He needs to get a race win if he wants to close that gap in here in time for the season finale at Zolder. So he's going to get frustrated. Down the inside of Van Sant goes Goossens. He'll secure the 3rd place spot in Pro-Am. We got about 4 or 5 different fights that are all coming to a head simultaneously. There's a huge lunge for DeClote down the inside of Savage.
Send probably wasn't going to give him much entry speed to work with. It slowed down Savage a lot. He's 6 tenths back entering the final lap. I don't know if he's going to be able to make any of this time up in just 1 lap to go around the track.
He's angry.
That move from Vic is a very I want to get back at this guy sort of move. In fact, he completely blows the first turn in his own rage.
I mean, I hate to say it, I get he's frustrated, right? But Vic can't exactly blame the guy in front of him. He was doing the same thing just a week ago.
Average 4/10. He's made a little bit of it up. There's not going to be very many turns to do this with, though. We're having a side-by-side battle with the 24 Nick de Beck, and I'm trying to work out the other car around there. The numbers are hard today. It's not even that late in the evening. There's no real good excuse. There's battles everywhere. That's all that matters. You've got a hard job too. It's now 2 temps up front. 0.2 of a second at the head of the field as the battles up and down the pack into the ebb and flow. Victor Claude is out of the chance to win the race this afternoon. He continues to flash the headlights furiously. Robert Savage running in the second place spot here, trying to get that run into the final few corners. He's not going to have it this time through. He's realistically got one more chance. He wants to try and execute. Will we see the Hail Mary down the inside of GR Verstraeten? Will we see our second M-Class promotion to Pro-Am in this season? GR Verstraeten into the final corner this time by Savage. Isn't going to get there, or will he? Here comes the run for Robert Savage, looking for it. He pulls out a line alongside, but he's not going to get the job done. GR Verstraeten holds on for the race win. I was expecting madness, but I won't know if I was expecting the best race of the season we've seen here. Whoa, can't park there, Abdul Manalodar, I think. Oh, there was more contact coming out of the last few turns for him, and he just sort of gets sent for a spin entering the last turn, quite frankly.
Oh boy, jeez. High
That's
speed
from a million
off.
miles away.
Boy, what a fight that we had here this afternoon, and I'm sure a lot of drivers are going to be beat after that one.
So, can I just leave you with the Victor Claude interview? I think you can deal with the rising anger. I can take the one in the middle, and all will be good.
I think I can take that. You know what? I'm a Canadian. We're known for our calming, our soothing qualities. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I tell you what, a wild way to close out the afternoon here on this one. Take another rundown of your official race results. Verstraeten comes on number 1 in a tight battle under a 1/10 of a second between him and Robert Savage. Victor Claude will come home a frustrating 3rd place after quite the dogfight there in the final laps. Goossens, Philippart's 4th and 5th, and it's Van Sant, Agnesis, De Beck, Garrett, and Toft for the top 10.
On further battles everywhere. Max Nevenche finished 11th of the Kim Bayet, Kenny Liebert, Abdul Manalodar getting spun on that last lap. Christophe Bossart's Ronnie Michel's Alessandro Penny finish out. Christian de Berge a lap down after damage.
Boy, a wild night here this afternoon, and I'm sure a lot of opinions are going to be floating around across the grid here this afternoon. No sign of your class winners as of yet, so we'll start from the bottom of the podium and work our way up this afternoon. We'll give a chit-chat in here with Victor Claude, the driver that comes on number 3 overall, 2nd place in the Pro-Am category in the main event here this afternoon. And Vic, first race as a Pro-Am driver, and boy, you had your hands full this afternoon. Talk us through that closing fight, because it looked like you were getting a bit fed up there with Savage up front.
Yeah, the first race was pretty clean. I couldn't follow because of my own mistake. I braked a bit late. But then the second race, I had a good start and made it throughout the race to P1. But then Jelle gave me a small push, which made me slide. So 2 guys could get by me, and then I finished P3. I'm happy with the results, but it's sad what happened in the 19th lap of the second race. But yeah, it's racing, it can happen.
So overall, quite the journey here this afternoon. Overall, do you like the competition more that you're in the Pro-Am category and you're fighting around some of your own class competitors a lot more than when you were in the Am class?
Yeah, it's more competitive. It's it's way more fun because I'm battling against my own league now. So it's important the place I am. So it was a nice battle. It's nicer.
Looking forward, one more race to go in Belgium as we swing to Circuit Zolder. Your thoughts, all of your points, of course, transferring from Am into Pro-Am. Do you think you'd have a chance to go at it for the Pro-Am championship with one race to go?
I think I have a chance, but then I need to be lucky that Soren Gerrits and Yves van Sande are not too good. But yeah, we will see. I think at Zolder in Belgium, everyone will be really good because it's a favorite track of everyone, I think. So we will see what will bring us the last round.
Well, congratulations on taking home number 2 in the Pro-Am category and a 3rd place overall in your first run in the Pro-Am field. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for one final time at Zolder.
Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
Victor Klo comes home number 2 this afternoon in this category. And how you've been able to catch up with the driver that, boy, he had a fight this afternoon, and we nearly saw our 2nd promotion in a row. You're standing by with our AM class winner, Robert Savage.
Robert Savage. Yeah, now the prospective leader of the AM class with one of their leaders leaving the field, and you really, really, really had a good shot for that win after things came your way. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks, isn't it? I think it was mentioned on the stream. I had the stream on in the background. A lot of people know this track because it pops up in the officials a lot. So a lot of people are quick round here. I was quick round Watkins Glen in the practice sessions, but unfortunately I hit the wall in race 1 and I hit the wall in race 2. So I know I've got the pace. I just screwed myself over a little bit. So I was I had to do all right tonight to put myself back up there.
When on the final few laps, it looked like the field opened up ahead of you, and there was a real chance for a win. Do you think you could have done anything differently to secure that?
No, it's hard to overtake, isn't it? And I think we know that. And if you get lucky and there's incidents, then you can pick off a few places, but trying to out and out overtake is very, very difficult. I don't think Vic's overly happy with me, and I don't know why, because he was the one that made the mistake into turn 1. And he
you weren't the one. You weren't the one that made contact, all right? We were wondering too, like, where's this anger coming from? Somewhere else.
Yeah, it was the same with the contact with GR86 as well. I had nowhere to go. I couldn't have just slammed my brakes on, and he turned across the front of me, so I need to sort of apologise for the contact, but I had nowhere to go. So I felt quite bad for him as well.
Think you can keep this momentum up for the finale in Zolder? Do you think it's these championships all open for you now with Vic gone?
No, I don't like Zolder. I absolutely hate the track. Absolutely hate it. But we'll see. I'll try and get some practice in.
Just try and stay out of the slowdowns. You never know what's going to happen around there. Best of luck. Good to see you, and hope you can hope for a competitive race again on the finale.
Yeah, I'll do what I can. Thanks, guys. Take care.
That's Robert Savage, and I don't know if we actually have our race winner. We could ask.
It doesn't look like we do at the end of the day, but I'll tell you what, a very intense fight from start to finish, and I thought for a hot second there how we were going to be getting our 2nd Pro-Am promotion there in the span of one event there, but. What a fight! And if the technical tracks are putting out this kind of a fight, Zolder is going to be a wild ride for the championship.
Certainly a strange track. It's another one that's quite hard to pass on, but it's 1 or 2 turns where it really comes alive and a lot of slowdown penalties. So you've got to take those corners perfectly, try to launch yourself off the chicanes. I've seen plenty of good races there, and I think this series can deliver it almost any way you go.
Overall, a stellar race that we had here this afternoon, and still plenty of action yet to be had here in the closing stages of this field as well. Coming up on Monday night, there's still more action yet to be had here in this one, as it's going to be the Collegiate iRacing League Cup Series coming to Green Flag TV at the Charlotte Motor Speedway alongside the High Tide Racing League at Michigan. Aspires back for more Motorland Aragon alongside the Mid-Atlantic Race Series at Daytona and Omers Raleigh Vegas. And then the Collegiate iRacing League Sports Car Championship will hit the Daytona Road Course on Wednesday alongside the Beer League for more on Wednesday night. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflag.tv. Thank you all so much once again for joining us. This race entering its closing stages and only 1 round to go. We'll see you all in 2 weeks for the season finale in Belgium at Circuit Zolder.